It's been a crazy 2 days surrounding UFC 279. It's been absolutely overwhelming, the amount of information and the craziness that's gone on. I see people talking about nefarious actions in the background by the UFC or by Khamzat Chimaev. It's so bizarre, I can't put my finger on it. I know that there is content creators definitively saying that they have the inside scoop on what's going on and that there's conspiracies and that there's nefarious actions. I don't know. I came across this tweet from Jake Shields. Khamzat had one of the most embarrassing weeks in MMA history, and I thought about it for a few minutes, and just going off of what I said in my last video regarding how the jig is up in terms of the Smash Bros and the energy seems to be depleted from that specific balloon, I'm like, is it the most embarrassing week in MMA history? Is that hyperbolic, or is that a fact? Is it a fact? You know, if we look at the week that has unfolded, where Khamzat did this kind of fake calling out of Paulo and Jake Shields and nothing came of it, and it was all a little bit shitty across the octagon or whatever. Then we had the shit that led to the press conference being cancelled. He said, look, he got punked backstage at the press conference by Kevin and Nate and acted like it was the other way around. Missed weight by 9 pounds and then laughed about it. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I literally watched all the top content creators last night, and they talked, and they all had different narratives. You know, some people were saying it's conspiracy. Some people were very angry that fans were saying, oh, he was frightened of Nate. And there's a lot of hate towards Nate on certain channels. It is what it is. I'm a Nate fan. I'm also a Khamzat fan. I've said it many a time. I also think what he does inside the octagon was great, and I was loving his personality up until the Gilbert Burns fight. And all of a sudden, it has just plummeted. It is skyrocketed, nose first, towards nowhere. And after this week, I mean, when he missed weight yesterday and laughed about it, I was like, what is going on here? Then the UFC did the old jig around, which some people are conspiratorial in terms of the fact that, you know, the UFC were taking so much heat because they were giving him to Khamzat. I still don't believe that Khamzat Chimaev was going to go in there and beat Nate Diaz easy as anything. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You can call me a casual, you can call me a bitch, you can call me a 6-year-old, you can call me whatever you want to call me. I do not believe that Khamzat Chimaev was going to go in there and maul Nate Diaz. I just don't. I understand the narrative that Nate is older now and the tenacity levels aren't there, but I also understand that the welterweight champion of the world right now, Leon Edwards, who I think we can all agree has pinpoint accuracy when it comes to his striking, did a great job tuning Nate up, but almost lost the fight. And that would have been an anomaly if that had happened, because Leon won all 4 rounds before it. But did Usman not win 3, if not 4 rounds against Leon and still lost the belt with a head kick? And no one is talking about the anomaly that happened there. He's just a champion now. So you're telling me that this can't happen again with Nate Diaz, a veteran, someone who did it to Leon Edwards just a few months ago? That couldn't happen again? When Khamzat went into the fight with Gilbert Burns, it was supposed to be a mauling as well. People were laughing and sneering at the fact that Gilbert Burns was going to fight Khamzat. It was going to be another lamb to the slaughter. He went in there with a game plan, put it into play, and actually took the fight to him. And as I said in the last video, it was razor thin. So there's no way that could have happened with Nate Diaz. I think that that is a low IQ to say 100% definitively Khamzat was going to demolish him. He was going to destroy him. And the UFC had to pull the fight and put him up against Tony Ferguson because of a more logical matchmaking. Yes, it was more logical matchmaking, and it should have been done a long time ago, and it was bullshit from the UFC to do what they did. So put all that aside for 5 seconds and tell me your opinion on how Khamzat Chimaev has come out of the UFC 279 fight week looking. Because to me, when the rejig was done last night and we found out that Khamzat was going to be fighting Kevin Holland, I was like, fuck that. You shouldn't even be on the card, man. It's disrespectful. I don't know what happened. I don't know whether there was agreements between Khamzat's team and the UFC. That is conspiratorial. I don't know whether any of that transpired. If it didn't, if he legitimately missed weight because he had an issue, the doctors came in at 4 o'clock in the morning and told him to stop cutting weight. If that was the case, it's kind of hard to argue with a medical stoppage like that, but I think there's a better way that you can act, and I think there's a better way that you can hold yourself in terms of sticking up your fingers and laughing at people who just busted their bollocks cutting weight, and you're going in there going, oh well, almost. It's like, this is disrespectful. And even when they faced off last night, Kevin Holland and Khamzat, the crowd were visibly and audibly against him. you know, and he felt it. You could see the look in his eye. He was flipping birds and telling people to get fucked, but he could feel that the crowd had slowly turned away from him. Because if we go back to the Gilbert Burns fight, it was almost like a godlike appearance. A deity had entered the octagon when Khamzat made his way there, and people were in love with him. I don't know whether that's the case anymore. I don't know whether it's a case of we had a lot of Nate Diaz fans in the building, or whether it's a case of the tide is turning. I call it. I'm probably one of the first people to call it out. I'm going to say that Khamzat Chimaev's hype train is going to come to a halt now. It mightn't happen in the octagon. He might demolish Kevin Holland tonight, and he might still be one of the best fighters to ever grace the octagon. I'm not saying that he isn't. I'm saying that the hype train and the good grace that people have been giving him is going to slowly dissipate, because it has for me. And I've been right in the past. I called out Paddy Pimblett 2 months ago for the eating situation, and I got the most monstrous amount of actual hate on YouTube. People were threatening my wife. People were threatening my family. People were saying that I'm not going to be able to step foot outside of my door because of what I said about Paddy Pimblett and the eating situation and his attitude. And now all of a sudden, in the last month, we have every fucking UFC fighter, Volkanovski, Chael Sonnen, all these guys popping off Daniel Cormier saying, oh, the eating's a problem. He needs to stop it if he wants to be a legitimate UFC contender. I said that 2 months ago, and you threatened to cut my wife's face off. So that'll just tell you what it is in terms of opinions. And it's the internet, so you can say whatever you want. I don't give a fuck what you say. You say whatever you want, but I'm going to voice my opinion. And my opinion aligns with Jake Shields, as it does on, I would say, 95% of subjects. Khamzat has had the most embarrassing weeks in MMA history. Let me know your thoughts.